being alive, being joyful, having choices, having power are all your birthright. And I'm just making space for more of that. But the more of you I see do it, whether it's, we're at the Red Sea or I can see you in person. I look forward to seeing all of you in person. You are alive. And that's more than breathing. It's way more than breathing. That's like living. And that does mean pain. And that does mean grief. But that's going to happen anyway. Give yourself big things to grieve. Give yourself big things to love. And show us everything before the lights go out. Show us what you got.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the ride. You're on the Mothership, inside the Black Woman Magic Room with the greatest podcast on earth. There we go. Oh, God. Who's going to say G-Po?
Because you see what I did there?
I'm not doing it.
You have to be willing to.
Some things just...
No, G-Po.
For those of you...
Some things just no.
For those of you who don't know, this will be Thea's final recording with Dem Black Mamas podcast. The podcast will go on, but Thea will no longer be one of our co-hosts. So I was just like, who's going to say G-Po? I'm Crystal Sneal Irby, mother of 4, and I'm also the producer of this podcast. And so I'm usually kind of guiding the ship. So we may hit some rough waters today. And all I can promise you is I'll do the best that I can. That's the promise that I'll make today.
That's all we can do.
My name is Thea Monyee, mother of, I always do this, 3. And I make no promises. I make no promises about how I'll behave, how I'll react, but I trust it. So that's what I can offer today.
And I am Nikisha, mother of 4.
Hater of change.
You're going to get what you get today, which is Dem Black Mamas, real raw, as always. You're going to get it.
Yeah. We not going to tarry.
We're not going to tarry. We've decided that beforehand. We're not going to tarry.
This is usually our listener love episode, but Thea wanted it to just be us, which I understand. This is also, will make 10 years that we will have been doing this podcast. We started in December of 2016. We have been talking about starting the podcast. Well, I was like, y'all, we should do a podcast. We should do a podcast for like 2 years. I was listening to the read and I was like, we can do that about mamas. We were in a moms group and I was like, some of the stuff we're talking about would be great on a podcast. And I always tell people we started when you had to go to like the 3rd and 4th page of Google to figure out how to podcast. And we were in 3 different locations. So that made it even more. We started on Skype. We have first episode on Skype.
R.I.P.
Is Skype not around anymore?
Do you hear anybody talk about Skype anymore?
I don't hear
Even if it's around.
Nobody's checking for it.
It's R.I.P. for
Maybe
Skype.
people in other countries use it.
Maybe.
If they were going to shine, they would have shined during the pandemic's height.
This is true.
This
is true.
Right. Okay, so we started out on Skype. Now we're on a platform. We couldn't even imagine that because then we moved to Zoom. And then you couldn't have 3. I didn't even have 3 tracks. Like you all had to. Did we each record and you all sent me your tracks?
Oh, we did do that for a while.
Through Skype?
Through Skype
something.
and through. And through
you know
Zoom.
what? I was about to say, didn't I have to record in GarageBand while we were on Skype?
I was doing Audacity.
Sometimes, yes, that was sometimes the problem.
Yeah.
We were visual on Skype, but we were recording audio through another.
Yep.
We not new, we true. We not new. Like we OGs at this point. We're OGs. But
it's been a solid 10 years.
It's been a solid 10 years, you know. It's been a, you know, we've stayed the course.
We have.
We've took some breaks. But we
have
stayed
stayed
the course.
We have stayed the course.
The water got rough, but we went on through and we would come back. And so we appreciate you all for rocking with us for 10 years, because when we started, there was also just one podcast about Black motherhood. But I don't think the host was a mother at the time. So now there's so many. And then there was a boom, and some of the people who started with us are no longer podcasting. So it's an honor to be here in this moment at this time in history. I don't take our microphones for granted. I don't take our platform for granted. I hold it sacred, especially at this time in history. But I would be lying if I said that this is not difficult for me. That it's not a difficult it's not a difficult day for me. You know, I don't even watch last seasons of shows that I love. I don't watch final seasons. If I watch the final season, I'll stop halfway through, and I don't watch the final episodes until years later. So to be recording and holding space for this change and evolution. I don't even watch
season
episodes.
For a season finale.
Yeah. I don't even watch
series.
like episodes where it's someone's last episode. I'm like I didn't watch Michael Scott's last episode until years later. I was like, nope, I'll just come and somebody else will be there. So this is a learning process for me. I'm not really sure when that happened in my life.
That you stopped doing the goodbyes.
That I stopped doing it. That I stopped doing it. I'm not sure. This is a learning experience for me. So this won't be a normal episode today. With that being said, we are going to do responsive reading, and we'll do an ancestor quote, and then we're kind of going to do a little mac and cheese. We have 2 questions, and then we'll end with Black Mama Say. But we're going to do those segments, but they'll feel a little different. Okay, so let's get to it.
Let's hit it.
Oh, Nikisha, you go break me down.
What'd I do?
I don't know. You just look like your little eyes. I'm
just rocking.
You just, it's all in the
trying
body.
Trying to hold it.
It's all in the body.
We have a card number.
Okay.
What's your number, Thea?
11.
I should know what this card says.
We've visited that one a few times
before.
Yeah.
What is it?
Dang, I didn't even get to, I hadn't even sent you your cards, Thea. Been promising for years I was going to send these cards. Never got around to it. Now you're leaving the show.
I'll still get the cards, right?
Yeah, you'll still get them.
Yeah, you'll still get them at some point. But ain't nobody tarrying to. Ain't nobody gonna be. It's gonna be some tarrying to the.
Well, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, here we go. Card number 11 is, oh, wow. Yeah, there we go.
Magic is real. You are proof.
Magic is real. You are proof. That's card number 11. 11 is one of those perfect numbers that you don't, what do they call it? A prime number?
It's a
not a prime.
Master number.
A master number. But is it a prime number?
It is a prime number too.
Prime number. Look at me. Look at me. I've had mathing. I had to reteach it. I've had to reteach it a couple of times. Dear Mama, you are living proof that magic is real. Your story is a fantastical tale of imagined dreams come to fruition. Your power to heal, manifest, and create can only be explained as magical. You, majestic, beautiful, healed, healing, creative you, are magic personified. Sprinkle a little of your dust on the world today. That is a perfect lead-in to our ancestor quote by Dr. Maya Angelou. Our ancestor quote is, each of us has that right, that possibility to invent ourselves daily. If a person does not invent herself, she will be invented. So, to be bodacious enough to invent ourselves is wise. So I thought that was just a perfect quote about, instead of, just having a different perspective on what's happening with the show, it's an opportunity to invent. It's an opportunity to evolve, right? And so I just thought that was a perfect quote to kind of go with this episode. All right, so
well chosen, Crystal.
yeah,
working my steps.
I'm working my steps. I just been
I'm just working my steps.
That's all we can do.
Working my steps. Yeah, I've just been working my steps. And even when I made the post, the Instagram post, and sent out the email, I was working my step through the tears. I was like,
everything you did, the post, the settings, everything. I was like, I'm not ready for that. Why did she do that so quick? Why is everything going so fast?
It was
slow down.
I had to, because I felt like we had to honor our listeners, and also honor, Thea. And so I couldn't wallow. I had to pull my shit together. And, my new saying is, don't mistake me for a G.
That's what...
So, I really had
Please don't get it confused.
I really had to G up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I lived in LA. I lived off Crenshaw. I know I am not. I know I'm not a G. So
I could hear that playing in the background as you were saying that.
I had to really call on that time in my life.
Yes.
So,
and harken back.
Pull something on. I have no street cred. I wasn't raised in the hood. My mama, she liked to live around white. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't raised in the hood. She liked to live around white folks. When we went living around white folks, I was raised in rural Black America. So I have no street cred. I have none. Rashad,
so funny.
We were going somewhere one time and he was like, yeah, that's a trap house. I was like, that one? And I pointed and he was like, do
not point at the trap house.
Point at the trap house. I was like, why not? He was like, they'll think
bless your heart,
you're working with Popo. And I was like, I didn't know. Yeah. So yeah, I had to G up.
You had to pull into that.
I had to pull into that. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. I ain't never had to really be a G. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't never had to be you got G's ahead of you.
Yeah. So I had to dig into that bag. Okay. So we're going to kind of move. This is, I guess, will be kind of our mac and cheese.
Okay.
And we're going to start with our favorite question and and then I don't even know what to say. I don't even know.
Let me say that I feel like the Black Mama Magic card and our devotion or our ancestor quote for today were really appropriate because they speak to spread your magic in new and different ways. Just go, sprinkle your magic in new lands, in new places. So I think that's appropriate for what's happening with us today. Sort of an expansion, if you will.
It is definitely. I think it's. There's always a contraction before an expansion, and so it's like pruning a plant too. You know what I mean? Like it's. There's a lot of metaphors we could use, but the bottom line is today we are just going to talk about this choice. Talk about the last 10 years and what it's meant to us, what we envision for the next 10 years, which we can't even imagine fully, but it's lovely to pretend we can. It's lovely to attempt. And for me, I kind of wanted it for me to end the way it started with the 3 of us and our mics. You know what I mean? Like, again, not knowing. Like, there's so much we didn't know that first episode.
Yeah.
We didn't know who would listen. We would know who would care. We didn't know if we were doing it right. And I feel like 10 years later, we don't know. But I think the importance of moments like this is to remind us that we never actually do. That every day that we choose to show up at anything is doing so without actually knowing what's coming. It takes sometimes moments like this to realize that that's the truth, because we feel like we have way more control than we do. But the truth is, it's always like that.
Yeah.
It's always just like daily, momentary choices. And so for me, I would say part of this process has been, how would it feel to imagine or hear episodes without me on them? How would I feel about that? How would I feel about, these really exciting things that we've gotten to do over the last 10 years and not being like a part of it? And I think that's been a lot of ego work for me. That's been a lot of ego death work, but it's also been demystifying or like challenging that idea, in the sense of like, before we were podcasting together, we were friends. Like, we're friends. So in many ways, I'm always a part of, or going to be a part of, or supporting, or amplifying, or excited about what's happening, even if I'm not in it. When you did the Atlas, I was excited about it. When you, Crystal, when you went to school and you finished school and you got your is it dissertation? I didn't go that far.
Oh no, I could never see my thesis. I could never see myself getting a PhD.
When you did the thesis, like these, I didn't have to do those things to feel
let
the
me not
joy
say
of
that.
those things.
Who knows? I may be called to get a PhD.
Yes.
Come on, ancestors.
Never say never.
I've been working my steps. Can we just
working your steps?
Give me a
TV
TV show.
I feel like that I had to challenge myself that wasn't true. That I've always been able to enjoy and co-enjoy and co-experience with you all along the way, and that's what will continue.
Because she won't let us change the group chat.
There's boundaries, my nigga.
We have
what I'm saying? We have to draw a line somewhere.
Group chat.
There are limits. There are limits, okay?
She won't let us change the group
chat.
Why
would we change the group chat? There's Dem Black Mamas, the podcast, and there's Dem Black Mamas, us. And I feel like that is the group chat. Like, no, it's just a no. I don't even. Nikisha, you back me on that? You second me up.
I got you on that.
But so anyway, so we should jump into this question. Should I do the first question?
Sounds like you're gonna have to, child.
Okay.
I don't care. Judge me. I don't care. At this point, I'm just like, listen.
This is what I wanted.
It's amazing that I pressed record today.
It's amazing.
It is.
We are giving ourselves credit.
A win is a win, friend.
Don't mistake me for a G. I told you.
I'm more of a J.
I'm a G.
I'm more of a J than a G.
I mean, I'm moving towards, clearly the Orisha and the ancestors are like, oh, we gonna make you into a G.
You gonna be a G.
You gonna be a G. So clearly I'm moving towards that. I used to be God's weakest soldier. But,
But also,
clearly that's not my destiny.
The last episode we recorded, you ended by saying, I want to be a brave priest.
Yeah, I don't think
words come back to you.
I don't think this qualifies as brave.
I think, why not?
Why not? She does.
I can do brave things. I have done some brave things. This to me qualifies as strength. It takes strength.
You're strong, girl. You're strong.
It takes strength, and so and it takes strength, and it takes deep acceptance, right? Because I don't always think of. I don't accept things with the caveat that a blessing or expansion is coming on the other side. I've had things happen in my life that just happened. And I still don't know why those things happened. I still, there was no blessing in it. And so it was just, you just have to accept. You have to accept that you may never know why.
Yeah.
You have to accept that there may not be a blessing on the other side. You have to accept that there may not be expansion. It's just a part of your journey. Acceptance is a part of the journey.
Hmm.
And so acceptance without expectation is, you know, is deep, is, yeah, right? Like I don't obey to be blessed, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't view this as brave. I view it as it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of releasing of ego, because I was like, oh, 2026 is going to be the best year yet. Like, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I finally, got a solid flow. I'm able to release parts of the podcast to other people. And so, accepting that that's not the destiny, and
Or it may be, just may not look like you thought it would.
Accepting that the vision that it's okay. Like accepting the vision that I had for 2026 is not the destiny.
Right.
It's not the destiny of the show. And that's tough.
Yeah.
I don't think it's brave to go through it. I think it just takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of trust that when you can't see the path, that the path will be lit for you. But I don't categorize it, what I've been going through the last couple of weeks, as brave. I just think it took a lot of strength and a lot of acceptance. Yeah. But we can go to the question. I don't want to.
No, Terry, you don't want to.
I don't want to Terry. I don't want to.
We might Terry though. We might Terry. I will say. I think those are traits of qualities people have to have in order to do brave things. I think that's part of.
I think so too.
You taught me that about myself. You would say you're brave, and I'd be like, I don't see that as brave. But you would be like, I know many people who wouldn't make that choice or that choice. When I even brought this to you all, some of the first things you all said was, that you trusted with me. Like you knew me well enough to know I wouldn't bring something like this lightly. And the trusting was immediate, even though the dealing with how we felt about it came after. But that's a part of what let me know, oh, okay, that what this 10 years has been true. We've been what we said we are. We've been friends, we've been pioneers in this work. And the evidence of that is that there was immediate trust around that decision. But it was you who really made me realize, Crystal, that like the things I was doing was brave. You would be like, so many women would have stayed and done this. So many people. And I have had to hear it multiple times in order to understand it as all those things you said are components of what it takes to make the decision, because there are people who wouldn't make that decision. There are places where I've had to leave and I did not get this response. You know what I'm saying? They chose something different. They chose to lean into something different. But so anyway, we're not tarrying. Here we go. I thought, because it is the 10-year anniversary, and it is, my sunset episode. We're going to call it a sunset episode out of farewells. That the question that we ask every guest would be so cool for our listeners to hear. So I thought it would be great to do the 10-year question, for us to answer it, for our listeners, for each other, because it is 10 years and the timing couldn't be more perfect to ask ourselves this question. I didn't realize it had been 10 years, y'all. I did not realize we had been doing this 10 years. But leave it to the scorekeeper over here, scorekeeper Scorpios, to be like, no, it's been 10 years.
It's been 10.
Has it been 10 years that we've been doing this? That is crazy. I haven't even had marriages that last. Okay, so anyway, that's neither here nor
I
there.
haven't had relationships.
The question
I have.
is,
My relationship now is over 10 years.
Jesus Christ,
Ma'am.
Crystal.
Ma'am,
Jesus
don't forget
Christos.
Pull it,
that
Jesus
one.
Christ, pull it together. Okay, so I'm going to ask my co-host, Crystal Tino Irby and Nikisha Killings, where were you 10 years ago? And did you think you would be where you are now? Did I ask that question right?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
Who wants to go first?
I will go first. Maybe only. I will go. So 10 years ago, I had a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. Going on 7, 3, 5, and 6. And was just finding my footing in my career and had just relocated to a city that was very racially tense, leading into Trump's first presidency, signs, pro-Trump signs everywhere. Nowhere felt safe.
Oh, because you was in
Yeah.
Pantsuits Nation, wasn't you, Nikisha?
I was in
You was in
Pantsuits
Pantsuits
Nation.
Nation.
I was.
Yeah,
That wasn't
yeah.
safe. That wasn't
Yeah,
safe.
yeah.
Nowhere felt safe. Even our mom's group didn't feel safe. It was really difficult, a really difficult season for me. It was what triggered my head covering. It was, so many things happened during that time. So I cannot say that at that moment I had any even ability to forecast 10 years ahead because I was in it, in the thick of it. A really difficult time in my marriage. It was rough back then. And so so that's where I was. And no, I could not have imagined how life has unfolded to this point. Yeah.
What has been the biggest surprise of the last 10 years?
I think asking 10 years ago, Nikisha, if that person could see ahead to where I am now, they would probably be most surprised that I'm able to just show up authentically in the way that I am. And because I was not in a space where I could at that moment. And it kind of lost who I was. And so in being mother and spouse and all the things, and I wouldn't have guessed that I would be showing up at this place really, really authentically and just like, and thriving in authenticity. Yeah.
That's good.
Crystal?
10 years ago, I had to do it by kids.
Yeah.
That's you heard me count.
So 10 years ago, I had a 1-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 18-year-old, and a 15-year-old 10 years ago.
Wow.
Living in rural white America. And was really struggling and drowning in motherhood. And motherhood was not what I thought it was going to be, but I knew that it wasn't supposed to be how it was. I felt like I woke up and was like, girl, whose life is this? Because it's certainly not the one that you had promised yourself. So whose life is this? And I knew that something had to shift. I had been in a 10-year depression where doing one thing a day was the best that I could do. Like if I got my kids to school, that was a win. No shower. Even now I have dental issues because I wasn't brushing my teeth every day. So I was really struggling, but no one knew. I did know that something needed to shift. I wanted to start a production company and I was like, what should I name it? What should I name it? And I was debating on whether or not to have Black in it, right? And after he won, I was like, oh, it's going to have Black in it. And I just remember having a conversation, maybe it was 2 different conversations with you all, but I just remember we were all in agreement at that moment, like, we got to start this podcast.
Yeah.
And, I have delusions of grandeur. So whatever I do, I think like, oh, it's going to turn into the biggest thing in the world because it's like so fantastic. How can it not? And I don't know if I thought that about the podcast. I just thought like, this is important. This is important. It's important at this moment that we document the voices of Black mothers. This is so important. That's what I knew for sure. And so that's why I was 10 years ago. Did I think I would be where I am right now? Absolutely the fuck not. I thought for sure I would have a show on TV now. I thought I'd be more famous by now for sure. And not famous in the sense where like everybody, not I don't want to say fame, but like I thought that I would have, had a TV show or a play on Broadway by now, for sure. I thought I would be on my mark more. I feel like I'm like in alignment, but I'm not on the mark, but I'm like on the edges, of my mark. And so I thought I would be more on my mark. I don't want to say fame, but I think I thought that my work I don't have the words for it because every word that I say is like a metric that I think people will take the wrong way. But that's all I can say. I think that I thought that I would be more on my mark than I am right now. And I thought that I would have sort of a more, my motherhood is really shifting right now. I've raised 2 teenagers and I'm on my 3rd one. And so I thought that I thought that the mothership would be a little bit smoother and I would be mothering much more in the way that I want to mother. And I'm not right now. I'm back in the grind of it. And I don't like that. It doesn't feel good to me. I didn't think that I would be a child of Oshun, initiated into Oshun. I didn't think that, but I knew that Dem Black Mamas would still be here.
You did.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. Like and I knew that because like everything around me told me that was true. Like, The View was still on the air. Like I just, there were shows that had lasted. And so I knew that this was important. I knew that it wasn't being done. And I knew that we needed to be here and that we would be here in 10 years. I definitely knew that. I thought for a minute that we would be on a network, but I'm glad we're not. I'm seeing some things now and I'm like, look at y'all looking out for me when I didn't know y'all was looking out for me, ancestors and divinities. Right. And so, yeah. So it's kind of it's a mixed bag for me, but I think it always is.
What's been the biggest surprise?
That I am an Oshun priestess.
Yeah.
That I'm initiated.
When you meet Crystal's mama, though, it's not as surprising.
Well, that I even practice Ifa is a surprise. To me.
I remember the episode that I came out the closet about it.
So I come from on both sides of my family. My ancestors founded Baptist churches on both sides of my family. And so, I didn't have church hurt. The church was, and it's not that I didn't see things in church that were problematic and that I don't recognize problematic things in the Black church. But, the church was the first place where I did spoken word. I did the welcome at my church. I had the
Good morning, Macedonia.
Well, that's when I started doing the announcements. That was when I was older, Thea. But like when I was a little girl, I did the welcome. I was an usher. I played Mary in the Christmas play. I had a long Easter speech. I was fascinated by a pastor who could rhyme and connect things like that was the first place where I experienced spoken word. And so I come to life. And it was the place where I was engulfed in Blackness and we could talk about white folk, like really talk about white folk, not just like in your home, but it was community, and everybody understood, and you were affirmed in your Blackness and what you were experiencing in terms of racism in the world. You were affirmed there in your Blackness. And so I didn't have any trauma from the church, but I really felt a need to expand. I felt like there's something more. There's something. I've reached my. I've hit the ceiling here. There's something more, and so I really went in search of that, expansion. But that's, the biggest surprise, and just how Oshun embodies me. That was not on my bingo card ever.
Yeah.
That was really not on my bingo card. And that I have a nonprofit. I did not want, and I said that I don't want to run a nonprofit. I've always said that. And the divinities.
Now you have one.
Yeah, the divinities was like, well, this is what you asked for from heaven. So this is what you will be doing. I didn't see that. And I manifested that job. I literally created my own job. And you could not have told me that I would have, that I would have done that.
That was a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize, I think it was this year I realized it, Thea. I think I called you and I was like, I was thinking about this, and I manifested my own job, you know? Because you're just like, you're just doing the work.
Wrote the job description.
I was writing the job description, right, for our policy and procedures handbook. And I was like, wait, I created this job, So yeah, I think those
were the big surprises.
What about you, Thea?
So 10 years ago, we were moving out of Leimert Park, which was a painful leave because we didn't want to, but gentrification was making it so that we couldn't, we couldn't live there. But also, my soul wanted more space. I could feel it for the first time in my city girl living. My inner island girl and country girl were like our turn, and I knew I needed like space, and so we had to look outside of the normal cities that we would normally look at, and we're in the process of moving to the Altadena, Pasadena area. So we were moving in this month, 10 years ago.
Wow!
And I was newly married, actually.
Oh, wow.
I had been married less than a year.
Wow. That reminds me of another thing that went on my bingo card, but I'll talk about that later. Yeah, go ahead.
It was so we hadn't even been married a year. And I was on the verge of discovering Ifa. I hadn't yet, but I was like making my way there. And I believe I was submitting to publishers, to agents. Ooh. And I think I secured my agent around this time 10 years ago, which that's also amazing. So in a lot of ways, I was starting a new life. Where was I working? I think I was still working at Cal State LA. Yeah. So in a lot of ways, I was starting a new life, and things I thought were going to like settle. Like be settled and be rooted. And 10 years later, none of that.
Did you think you'd be where you are?
No.
Yeah.
I thought I'd still be married.
Interesting. I thought I wouldn't be married.
I thought I would still be married.
You surprised us all there, Crystal.
Yeah, I thought I wouldn't be married.
Because I thought I had done things smarter, better, wiser, and really loved my wedding. Really loved.
It was nice.
It was a great time.
The time was had.
And I felt like I took more time in that. So did not think I wouldn't be still living in that house. Work-wise, I don't know that I didn't really have an expectation around that. So I didn't know. I don't know that I had a bigger vision other than my family at that time. I had, and writing, wanting to write. definitely weren't thinking about retreats, definitely wasn't thinking about, none of it, none of what is here currently right now. But 100% those experiences were preparing me for now. The biggest surprise was that I was not being honest with myself. I don't think I knew the difference between maintaining what looked like a peaceful, healthy ecosystem for everyone around me and not being honest with myself. I didn't know because I thought that was good in my idea of what was good and what good looked like and what good felt like, which was everybody's good. Nobody's struggling. Everybody's okay. That's what peace felt like at that time. Everybody else's needs were met. So I didn't think I was being inauthentic. I thought I genuinely wanted to do that for people. And in some ways, that is a part of me. Part of how I show care is I pay attention to the people I care about, and I love to do things for them that demonstrate that care. But it was coming from a very different place than it's starting to come back to me now. It was coming from a place of de-escalation and making sure there was no harm or violence, managing and controlling, I think, even though it didn't feel controlling. It might have felt nurturing even to the people, but the root of it was trauma and trauma response. My biggest surprise was that I didn't actually enjoy that like I thought I did. I didn't actually want to do it for the right reasons. That in doing so, I was really constantly creating a persona that was much tamer and less, I guess, authentic is the word, than I would have imagined. I thought I was going into the easier part of my life 10 years ago, and I was going into the roughest season of my life. I had no clue I was going into the hardest time. I thought I was going into the easiest time. But I remember having this feeling coming back from my honeymoon. And I said to Mark, what if we go back and everything gets bad? What if things don't go well? And he was like, things are only going to go up. But I think about that moment almost like a premonition that I knew, that I was entering a phase that was going to be a complete, the word dismantling comes up, but it feels worse than that. It feels like a dismembering, complete dismembering of myself and my life over that 10-year period. That I'm just now, even this decision is a part of recovering and coming out of the dismembering.
When I look back 10 years ago, I think, and I think about what I said on our last episode, being a brave priest. I think my reason for saying that is because I don't think I have been as brave as I thought I would have been over the last 10 years. I thought that I would have taken more chances.
Career-wise, specifically? Or just
in general. Career-wise, mothering-wise, I thought I would have been much more adventurous, especially with my mothering. When I look at my 20s, right, and the risk that I took in my 20s, and I look at my 30s, which were a very, very hard time for me, and then coming out of that in my 40s, I thought that I would have, over the last 10 years, I would have taken more risk. And I think about that because I would have never thought I would have dove 19 feet into the Red Sea or, on a four-wheeler through the Sinai Mountains, right? I would have never thought that. And so I think about that moment, or going to Tampa, and how many times have I talked to this woman and she's about to initiate me into Oshun, you know what I'm saying? Those sorts of life-changing risks. I thought that I would have more. And there were times, I mean, if I'm being honest, there were times when I was just scared, like, you know, and just hadn't healed, you know, just, I think that's what this time in my life really has been. It's really been a healing journey. I think the last 10 years made me realize like how unhealed I was and how not being relentless about your healing really stagnates your dreams, because all that fear and doubt kind of creeps in. And so there are things that I haven't finished out of fear. There's no TV show because the pilot isn't finished, right? You know, I haven't submitted to the fellowship, you know, just, you know, and I thought that I would have been able to walk in those fears more than I have.
But I would say about your cohort in Egypt, it was different than the first one. They were more group minded, and there was group elements. But your group really was, to me, I could feel the individual journeys that were present for each of you in a different way. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's easier to, but sometimes brave things are easier to do.
Yeah,
and
so
that with that support of witnessing.
I thought that I would have done. I thought that when I look back over the last 10 years, that I would have had more moments like that were individual.
Like you individually initiated. Like you made them happen.
Right. Because, you know, I don't have any doubts about, you know, sometimes I can read something I'm right. I'm like, damn, girl. If you can't do nothing else, you can write. Right. So, you know, I think that that's a surprising thing for me. And then there are things that I've done that I'm like, you couldn't have told me I would have been married this long. You couldn't have sold me on that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah. And here's some magic beans I'll sell you.
Yeah.
You know, but to be able to love in this capacity this long has also really stretched me and really taught me a lot of things about myself that I wasn't even interested in having. You know? So yeah, it's been those are some surprising things to me. So you know, we've said that this is Thea's sunset episode. So keeping that spirit in mind, we just looked at the last 10 years. So in the next 10 years, I don't necessarily want us to talk about like, what do we see for ourselves or that? But when you think about the next 10 years and your transition from the show, what are you curious about? What are you excited about? When it comes to your motherhood journey, when it comes to your evolution, and when it comes to your creativity, the next 10 years, like when those three things, what are you curious about? What are you excited? Like what excites you when you think about those things over the next 10 years?
I want to preface this by saying that the incubator of the Dem Black Mamas for the last 10 years is part of what's making this transition possible. Like the decision to start a podcast, Crystal, little did we know would be our own archiving. So many times Crystal's been like, oh, you said that on the podcast. And I'm like, I did? What episode did I say that on?
This podcast is a manifesto. If you come on this podcast,
like you manifested,
and you say some things that you want, it's going to happen.
And yeah, she's like, "Oh, you mentioned this here." I began to view it. I think about 1.5 to 2 years ago, I began to see that, not to see that actively, but to recognize that this has been incubating things, and this incubates things, and also this is a way to look at myself over the last 10 years and see. I actually have been making more progress than I thought. I actually have been changing. When you're in the process of growing and changing and progressing, you can't see it. You're just doing it, but you can't see the big picture. You can't see the shifting. You can't see the growth. And I think particularly I started paying attention even deeper when Crystal would mention that, and thinking about GBM in that way, like thinking of it as like, oh, and going back on my own and listening to things and noticing things and giving myself a lot more credit than I probably had before. So I do think having this space to see yourself, hear yourself, is part of what has led me to the readiness for the next 10 years. And just to be 100% transparent, like that literally is the reason for transitioning from DBM is capacity. It's like the dedication of time and energy and resources that we put into DBM is essential for what we produce, what the outcome is, and particularly time. Particularly thinking about like having set times and having set schedules. The more I have gone into my spiritual journey and this most recent return, the more I can see myself. The more I can see myself as a person, at least for the next season of my life, I will not be able to be really a bound person by things like time. I won't be able to even tell you where I'll be in a year or in next month. It'll be very difficult for me to like pin those types of things down. And I also, part of me doesn't want to. Part of me wants to be surprised ongoingly or welcoming. In the next 10 years, I'm learning, one, how to witness and not intervene. I'm learning how to be a good receiver. And being a good receiver requires a lot of space. It requires a lot of slow. It requires a lot of patience. And it requires a lot of worthiness, a lot of believing that you're worthy to hold the things that are coming in large capacities, and the flexibility and the adaptability to say yes, even before you know fully, what that will require of you. You'll be resourced to do it. I think when maybe 6 months ago, if that, you guys probably heard me say, I like literally cannot work online like this anymore. I need to see people. I need to touch people. I need to see their reactions. I need to see their shoulders up or down. I need to see whether they're like crying or about to cry, all these things. And I was like, 2026, I have to be in person. I have to see people, I have to touch people. I have to get out from behind this. That is really who I am. Y'all know how many of the recordings that we did, I was outside. I was outside. I'm not, I don't want to be in anymore. So outside is one of the main things about what I see in the next 10 years. I see more quiet. I see more, even though I'll be out with people, I see a lot more preciousness in my home, solitude, relationships. I see a lot more like quiet and preciousness and presence. And I see saying yes to things that I never thought I would say yes to. That things that I may not even in this moment feel like qualified for, but the qualifications are no longer of this society. The qualifications are the sacrifices and things I've done, the work I've done to embody certain experiences and certain things. That is all the qualification I require at this point. So I'll be able to say yes confidently to those things. And the retreat you mentioned, Crystal, the Hold a Sacred Retreat, I have new energy and new people, not even participants, but like new people I'm working with to do the retreat that feels like, oh God, if I was able to do that with that. And that's how I look back on that part of my life too, is I feel like I was doing all that with like my hands tied behind my back and one eye closed, like, God damn, what's going to happen when I have both eyes open and my hands are free, which means also that in this next era, I have to really understand my own metrics, right? Like I am that past 10 years would overgive. My metrics were off. I was just giving so much because I didn't know the value of my presence. But now that I know the value of my presence, I can't overgive, or else it could actually smother or drown a person. You know what I'm saying? I have to move slowly and incrementally, but freer. So I see a lot of in-person stuff, very unexpected opportunities, and that I need to say yes to. I see some policy work on a global level. I see homes all over the world, which I've always envisioned, like homes and family and people all over the world that I can fly to. And I also see lots of water, lots and lots of water. I'm starting free diving classes, which I promised myself to. And I already have the first 3 of 6 or 8 retreats and experiences blocked for next year. So, I think I'm just opening up the space to say yes. I must say that it took me a minute to get here because the grief and the loss and the sacrifices and the pain make it scary to want things again, to say yes to things again, to desire and imagine again. But I feel that unfolding happening, and I'm very grateful and excited about it. And I plan to be a really good steward of it. I plan to be a really, really good steward over all these things. So in mothering, I have to tell y'all, I mean, Crystal, because you have 2 that are older now, but I like witnessing in motherhood. I'm really enjoying, I'm still learning when not to freak out and when to freak out. I'm still learning some of that, but I love who my kids are. And I love how we love each other. And I see my mother in it. I see my mother in it so much. And I see them like little hers and also little me's and also little themselves. So the next 10 years, I just hope to see more of that. Take them on some of these adventures with me. Maybe they'll take an interest in some of it. But if not, I get to watch them become bigger on their own. They've given me nothing to complain about in terms of witnessing. It's a good show. They put on a good show, and I'm really enjoying it. So we'll see the next 10 years what that brings. And of course, there's Remy, who I expect.
Dog for you.
Remy will learn how to meet his Auntie Crystal standards and visit his Auntie Nikisha and Auntie Crystal. I see that in the future as well. I would like to say that I see that very clearly as well.
I see it.
I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I see it. What are you all most excited about in the next 10 years? Most curious about? And also, I would say what makes you a little scared. Not in a bad way, but in that challenge yourself kind of way.
Yeah, I'll try. You have just now in this moment made me so super excited about seeing my children in that sort of adult space, which I cannot even in this moment, but I know they're good humans. I know they're beautiful humans. And so seeing them out in the world thriving as adults is something really exciting. And getting to the place where I'm not, mothering in this way, the way that I'm trying to keep them safe and alive and fed and sheltered and all, and instead just witnessing and supporting in new ways is really, really exciting, really exciting. In 10 years, I'll have almost an empty nest. My youngest will be 16 and a half, heading on out. That's really exciting. That's something I cannot even, I am excited about and other descriptors I don't have words for about my continuing evolution in my spirituality, tapping deeper and deeper into my ancestors and the many lines of brilliant humans I descend from, and holding space for them and hearing from them and sharing space with them in all the ways that will look. I'm really excited about that, and other words I don't have. Not afraid, but excited, curious. Yeah. So that's another thing. Career-wise, I have no idea because I didn't think I'd be here. So I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, that's how it is.
It's up from here. That's all I know is just continuing to.
Isn't that amazing to be doing something like that wasn't even that wasn't even invented? Like that's, you know what I mean? Like you're like the Atlas is your work, and like it wasn't even like you couldn't, it wasn't even invented. Like you couldn't have even, it wasn't invented. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are people like, oh, I want to be a doctor. Okay, that's like there, but like you're doing something that didn't exist.
That you had to say yes to.
That's like, I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I do too. And I think that work coming to fruition has really given me courage to say and to embody this identity of being a solution creator, someone who creates solutions, who makes room for answers for things that are plaguing us as a people. And I don't know what that will look like, but I'm curious and excited about the next iterations of that thing. And just continue to come into and get to know me.
I think also, and you should come to Egypt. You're the only Dem Black Mama who has not come.
But it's only 3. I mean, it's only 3 of us, and one of them does the trip.
So she needs to come.
So I just feel like
she needs to come.
That's a little bit
that's even
unfair.
more reason than why not come then?
She would love to come, but she would not love to go in anybody's ocean. That is not a thing she wants to do.
Scorpio. Well, just you don't have to think about it. Just come, and then we'll see what happens.
There'll be no diving. There'll be no tanks attached to my back.
Of course. You should just come. Don't worry about that part.
I don't trust that.
I spent about 6 weeks with Nikisha in a deep, intimate setting.
Did.
And the one thing I know for sure is I don't invite Nikisha places she don't want to go.
Don't do that. Don't do that, friend. Don't do that.
I wouldn't.
I have grown. I've grown since those college days.
I would wait.
I would not make everybody in Egypt miserable. I would not make everybody in Egypt miserable because I don't want to be there. I would not do that.
Fair.
I think you should come.
I'm a bigger person now.
I would wait until I would at least get a soft yes. Doesn't have to be a hard yes.
I feel like I've gotten a soft yes.
But a soft yes. Or you've gotten a hard no on the diving. And the diving is a big part of it.
On the diving.
So I would, listen, based on my experiential data. I would venture to say, wait till you get a soft yes. Now I will say, and during that intimate 6 weeks, I mean, I did see her come, I did see her come around. Not here, but, I will say that.
I don't know why Crystal's acting like she has not also seen me continue to evolve over the last nearly 30 years. Friend, you have seen.
I think you have evolved.
Me expand a bit.
I'm not saying you haven't evolved. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that
she's like having experienced charm and having experienced that 6 weeks of intimacy.
Because let me tell you, that plane ride from Turkey to
charm,
not from Atlanta to Turkey, but from Turkey to Atlanta. Bitch, it took me out.
It's a small plane. It's not a little puddle hopper. But it's
it's
an international airport. It's an international airport. It meets dignitaries at that airport.
Nikisha.
Sorry, pardon my ignorance. I was just trying to follow you. So from Turkey to Sharm, it's the plane.
It's not concerning.
Do you know, like, okay, you have the screen in front of you, right? Do you, I don't even know if we were flying then, but like, it's like, it's a screen that has like the landscape. So it's just a green landscape. And it's like the plane is like pixelated. It's like, you remember Atari? What was before Atari?
I don't know if this is true. This is I've been multiple times. I don't remember what she's talking about. They're smaller planes, yes. There's like two seats, and they don't show movies on these planes.
Me.
Because it's only a 2-hour ride.
I know me. and I
It's a
know
2.5-hour
you.
ride.
2 hours.
I know me and I know you. I'm just saying I would wait till you got a soft yes on the diving.
Fair.
That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, if she comes, I'm not going to be mad at Nikisha. I'm going to be like,
It's
well,
true. I mean, there's other things that lead up to that. I think a lot of people don't know that they're ready for it until they're ready for it.
Ride.
You'll be fine.
Bitch, Nikisha.
It's just a 2-hour plane ride.
I was like, oh, they left this shit out on the
just 2
video
hours.
call.
This is not sounding
It's
like
not.
I'll be on the next trip.
You will.
I don't think
We'll
I'll be on
talk
the
about
next.
it.
Go to Panama.
You can't. You can only go to Panama if you've gone to Egypt.
Oh, that's
fucked
fucked up. That's fucked up.
What kind of shit is that?
It's because I need you to have had the experience to build on the next thing. Panama is even more in the wild. Not in the wild, but it's even more.
Here's what I'll say, Nikisha. Based on your evolution over the last 10 years, do I think you can do it? Absolutely. Based on that 6-week intimate experience.
But we have to base it on what you've accomplished so far.
I think there's some moments in the trip where that experience will come forth. I'm saying.
Here's the thing, though. Okay. 90% of the trip, you're being one. I mean, not even 90%. Once you're in my care, once you're with me, your feet don't touch the ground. I mean, you're just cared for, and everything is like tailored for you. You know, that last little leg is probably their smallest plane. Not their smallest, but it's one of the smallest planes. But it's only going from Istanbul to Sharm. 2 hours. The rest of it is just spa, food, experiences.
I would like that part of it. That part. Only. That's what I would like.
Okay, we'll talk. This is
we'll
taking
talk
up some
about that
shot.
more.
Okay, Crystal, go. You better take this out. Too much.
Crystal, what are you excited about? Curious about something?
Well, I was thinking about that whole manifestation piece, and I was trying to think, like, what is it about the container that's created on this show that produces that kind of energy, like produces an energy of manifestation? And when I think about it, I was like, oh, it's like, is that like Oshun energy? Like, was I creating like that environment before I even realized like who, that I was a child of Oshun? So I don't know. I'm going to hold that because I knew that we manifested things on the show, but I really want to hold that and be more intentional about being a steward of that kind of energy. But what am I excited about? I am excited to see Black creatives in the next 10 years because every industry where creatives operate is shifting in unbelievable ways. And so I'm excited to see what Black creatives do during that shift because the narrative is there's a lot of contraction. Like a lot of Black shows are being canceled. A lot of, there are not as many opportunities. We all know, DEI. Nikisha has a presentation about DEI being dead. Like we know that, and I just believe in those moments. Is when we sort of evolve and shift. And so I'm really excited. We become innovative and our ingenuity shines.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to see over the next 10 years what Black creatives do. As these shifts and evolutions are taking place. I'm curious about my spiritual journey, my motherhood journey. Over the next 10 years, I see myself being more like in partnership with my children. Like, yes, I'll still be their mother, but like there'll be like a deeper partnership.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain it except that, like, it's not that we'll be peers, but I feel like now I'm interested in partnering with my children to help them align with their dream, with their destiny. I don't think my children have fully realized themselves yet. And so I'm really curious to see who they become. What do I fear?
Or just like what may intimidate us a little bit, but we're still moving towards it. For me, that definitely is spiritual work. But I'm definitely still moving towards it. But I'm beginning to, I think at this point, I'm understanding more about the gravity of it and the depth of it and doing what I have to do in my life to make room for it. So, but it always, it never fails to surprise me. Never fails.
I would say the same.
My impact. What did Beyonce say? If you haven't done the old notes, I'm not giving new notes.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like I have some old notes.
Old notes. That you're working on.
Okay. That I'm working on. But I do feel like, I remember Oprah said in her 40s, she was like heating up. And when she turned 50, she was going to be on fire. And I definitely feel that. I definitely, which I think also speaks to my spiritual journey when I think about it. But, but I feel like I'm ready to be on fire. Even with this shift in Dem Black Mamas, I still feel that fire energy that actually 10 years ago, I couldn't picture my future. If someone said, what do you see yourself in 5 years? That's one of the reasons why I started asking that question. Like, I couldn't literally, like, if somebody said, picture your future, I just saw black and I just saw darkness. And I was coming out of that depression, and I got into therapy. I got a life coach, and all of those things. And, you know, the thing I can say I'm proud of over the last, I was relentless about my healing. I was relentless. I got a life coach. I got a therapist. I dove into Red Sea.
Steps.
I got initiated into I was relentless. About my healing. And so now I feel like that 20-year-old who got on that plane to go to Los Angeles and follow my dreams, like, I can feel that fire again. And I hadn't felt it in a really long time. And I can envision my future. Like, I can see myself doing the things that I wanted to do. And even some things that I didn't even know, that I wanted. And also leaving space for the unimaginable, right? Because I couldn't have imagined this podcast, right? So I think that I can feel the fire again.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, it's so good. When you say that, I'm like, I feel wind and water, a lot of wind and water. And I'm excited about chasing it or following it or allowing it to, like, I had to be so structured for so long. And it's not something I want it to be. It's something I felt like I needed to be. But the idea of being able to not feels like a true self that I'm looking forward to, like, meeting and nourishing and nurturing. And there's aspects of her that we've seen all along, glimpses, like when I dive in the Red Sea, like when I go to when I travel, like, we've seen her, but she's like visited, not lived here. But to live here feels like an exciting thing. So I'm really grateful for this 10 years of, like, growing and learning beside each other in this capacity. I know that continues for us outside of Dem Black Mamas, But for those who were able to witness us as listeners, I remember the first time I realized white people was listening was my friends in Northampton.
I'm still so
And
shocked that white people
and I was
listen.
like,
Hey,
yeah,
y'all.
I was like,
And hey to the black people.
but that's when I realized
Yeah.
we were reaching beyond what we knew. So they were like, "You're on Dem Black Mamas," and I said, "Bitch, what do you know in Ohio about Dem Black Mamas?" And I couldn't wait to come back and tell you guys. And I want listeners to know it matters that you listen. It matters so much that you share. It matters that you comment. It matters that you quote. It matters because we get to places and then we're so surprised when people know, because something about online buffers the reality of how people are actually impacted, how much impact we've actually already had. I am looking forward to see that impact grow and continue, but I want listeners to know you're such a big part of it. So don't be afraid to be even more vocal and be more present and be more like you can never overwhelm us with like engagement. You know what I mean? It just really constantly lets us know
It's inspiring, actually.
that what we're doing matters and resonates. And for me, I just want to say that I don't take the last 10 years of you listening for granted. I don't take any of it for granted. And, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to my co-host. I'm grateful to listeners. I'm grateful for more of it than I can even calculate to say. And I'm just grateful I was able to die here. I was able to be reborn here multiple times. And that will continue. That will continue in other forms. And so just, I know you'll continue to do that, but also I want you to know how much it matters. How much it matters to, Crystal, to Nikisha, to me, and how it's made me want to carve out my own little corner of the world that teaches about this joy work and this stuff even more, care for you even deeper, love you even harder in my little corner of the world. So thank you for that. Yeah. I won't tarry. I won't tarry. But also I'm thinking of my mom and my grandmom and my great grandmom and just, I'm just grateful. I don't think there is other than my grandmother to me is the epitome of gratitude. My mother too, but she's the epitome of grace. My grandmother's the epitome of gratitude. And she loves to be alive. And I think what my Black Mama say is actually my prayer for all of you, which is I want you to love being alive. And I know that doesn't mean that it will always feel good, but never let anyone make you feel like you don't want to be alive. And I don't mean alive just like breathing. I mean like full, so bright, to live, love, grieve, chase, be fiercely. Everything you put into to the world, I want you to put into yourself. And my goal would be to be out there to help you remember that being alive, being joyful, having choices, having power are all your birthright. And I'm just making space for more of that. But the more of you I see do it, whether it's, we're at the Red Sea or I can see you in person. I look forward to seeing all of you in person. You are alive. And that's more than breathing. It's way more than breathing. That's like living. And that does mean pain. And that does mean grief. But that's going to happen anyway. Give yourself big things to grieve. Give yourself big things to love. And show us everything before the lights go out. Show us what you got. And I'm right here to support and help it along the way. I'm not I'm not going anywhere. I'm just changing form. So that's it. And I love it. And I love you.
So I want to say thank you for the last 10 years. It's been an unimaginable ride. And, you know, we've, laid a lot of foundation and a strong one to build on. And you've really helped make that solid. And so I just want to say thank you for that. And thank you for all of the songs and
the quotes,
the quotes and the pop culture references and the vulnerability. It's all helped shape, because we didn't know who we were or what we were when we started out. And so, we've been forming as we've gone along. And that's not always easy to do, but I'm proud of the fact that we were curious enough and brave enough to form, to release things, to add things. And so you were a huge part of that. And I'm grateful that you said yes and that you took the time and found a way, even when you were working full time. And that you continued to show up in really big ways for the podcast and for me as the producer. And so, it's just been like the time of my life. So I'm really grateful that you were a part of this journey and this building.
Yeah, me too.
So, what Crystal said, we've all talked about the growth that has occurred in this space, the evolutions, the deaths and rebirths. That's the kind of stuff we could never have predicted it.
Yeah.
We could never have seen it coming, but oh, what a time. What a time. So yeah, I also want to share gratitude for this space is only what it was because of the three of us. This combination of souls and experiences and intentions made way for such personal growth, created a safe space for expansion, and gave me the courage to show up in this authentic way that I talked about earlier. None of that could have been possible without this space. And this space was not this space without you. And so I'm so thankful for that. And in looking ahead, I'm holding on to what the old folks say. Every closed eye ain't sleep. And every goodbye ain't gone. So
I'm just
on to the next iteration of us.
Of us. Yes. Yes. 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Can we say our words of the year one last time?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I remember. We're going to get it right. Listen, by now y'all know where to follow us. Okay, you know the email address. You should know.
Get at us. Get at us.
You should know.
Yeah, all that.
Crystal shouldn't have to keep telling you to subscribe. She didn't said it. We said we will not tarry. Don't have us on here repeating ourselves. Okay. We did it.
We did it. Whew.
Yeah.
You ready? Who starts?
I am. I would just like to say I'm really proud. I did a lot of crying this morning, and I think my tears are like, girl.
You did great.
Yeah.
You did great.
So in closing, maintain,
expect
abundance.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.